Superhero who tries to suicide, but he can't because he is immortal. Deadpool 2. The movie is a comedy superhero movie released in 2018, and I hope you enjoy it. Our movie starts with Deadpool heating a toast in the microwave with a cigarette in his hand. Then he goes to sleep on gas barrels. And Deadpool asks you, yes you, who is watching, what made me sleep with a cigarette in my hand on the gas barrels? I'll tell you right now. Then he throws the cigarette on the gas barrels and they explode with them. Then he jokes about Logan, that he took the advantage of Deadpool Part 1 and released his movie on the same time to gain high revenues as my movie. Then Deadpool starts talking to us and says, now I will let you know what have happened to me that brought me here. Then he appears on a rooftop with a cigarette, talks on the phone, and asks the one who is talking to where he is, and that someone is in a nightclub, and he says, whatever they pay you, I will pay the double. The guy tells him that he isn't a bounty killer, he just kills bad guys and criminals. Then Deadpool hung up the call and jumped off the roof onto the nightclub and started killing the guys there, and then they shot him all. But they didn't know that Deadpool won't die as long as his superpowers existed, and he acts as if he is dead. After they thought he was dead, he got up again. Suddenly Deadpool looked at the camera, told the director to stop filming, as there is some blood entered my eyes. Then he continues killing them. Then we see him at a funeral and he's going to kill other criminals too, and they're trying to hold him there and kill him, but they couldn't either. And then he shows up at a nightclub doing the same thing and killing a bunch of bad guys. And the same happens onto a warehouse, and only this time the guys are more in number. But he is the Deadpool the Immortal. He continues killing them until no one left except the boss. But the boss escapes and enters his safe room. And Deadpool says, seriously? After all this effort, you have a safety capsule? He still hadn't finished his speech. He finds out that the boss called a backup that have arrived, and of course he was going to kill them. But no, Deadpool ran away from them until he got into the taxi that was parked there and ran away from these people. The taxi driver said, I've decided to become like you. I want to be one of the worst killers like you. Deadpool said, son, this job has qualifications, and you don't have any of it. He said, no, I've watched the Mother Jesus movie 4 times and I didn't get emotional once. He said, oh, that movie? We became the second highest grossing movie in American history after it, and we passed it worldwide. But no one knows it. He said, just give me a chance, and as Cessin as I kill once, I'll kill again. He said, well, I'll think about it and thank you for the ride. He said, always on duty. Then Deadpool goes to his wife and she says, why are you late? Didn't you know it is our anniversary? He said, well, there was a little boy crossing the street. She said, no, no, no. He said, there was an old woman crossing the street and needs help. She said, no, no, no. He replied, well, 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 I was working. She said, okay, go ahead and say it from the beginning. Don't you want to see your present from our anniversary? He said, show me, but take your present first. He handed her a coin and said, this is the one we played with when we first met, made of lead. She said, you still have it all this time. It's so sweet. Then she gave him a present and told him that it was her birth control and that she removed it to get pregnant and told him that children would make them better together. Then they started choosing the name of their first child. He said, you know, my whole idea of a family is one person who leaves and throws away his children, and I don't know how to be a good father for my son. She said, it doesn't matter, come on, you'll be a good father, and we'll definitely find something to tell him. He said, wait, I will just make us some sandwiches. As he stood up, he shouted, go down and hide now. And then armed men actually entered the place and they tried to kill him, but he managed to kill them all and eliminate them one by one. His wife got up from behind the sofa and said, what is this? But she didn't finish her words. One of the men came through the door and hit a bullet to kill him, but the bullet went into his wife, and she died. Deadpool came to her, started screaming, yelling, and apologizing to her. Then the microwave made a sound and brought him back to reality. He looked angrily at the window and jumped out of it and ran after the driver of the car to get rid of him. The man got into the car and ran away, but Deadpool kept chasing him, and when he caught him, he hugged him and threw himself with the guy in front of a car and killed him. Afterwards, Deadpool goes to the bar, and barman says, you can't keep doing this to yourself. You will destroy yourself. Deadpool says, I'm fine. Some guy came and said to Deadpool, I wish you were fine. But denial indicates that you are not okay and you're trying to convince yourself that you are fine. Deadpool said, it's your last words in the movie. Get the fuck out. I won't let you say another word. Then Deadpool goes to the blind woman's house, moves the sofa and pulls out heroin with his name on it. And when she comes closer, he puts the sofa back. And when she senses someone is there, she raises her gun. He says, stop. It's me, Ia. She says, knock on the door before you enter, dumb. Then he cries to her, I'm so tired. My wife died after we planned to start a family. I can't see her again or hold her. She told him to stop crying like a woman and face reality. She said, she's dead. God have mercy on her. Man up. No one lives well until they die. He said, that's the best thing I've heard today. He took all the heroin and went back with intention to suicide in the bear house, but he didn't die. He threw himself off a building, but he didn't die either. Then he tried to burn himself as we saw in the movie beginning. In that moment, he finds himself in a world like the Isthmus and finds his wife upset and tries to say sorry. But she says, "Your heart is not in the right place. Find your heart and come back." He tries to understand what she means, but he couldn't. Then he goes back to the reality and finds a big Iron Man in his house. And we find out that this Iron Man is one of the X-Men school for mutants that the professor is in charge of. Then the Iron Man takes him there to help him. Then we move to an orphanage for mutants where we see a bald man and a young fat mutant. The owner of the place says, "Don't worry, there are no locks or anything will keep you here." Do you know why all these kids don't run away? Because they know deep down they're not okay and need to be fixed. "You'll be fine with us because we want to fix people like you," and he lets the kid in and walks away. Then we go back to the X-Men house and we see Deadpool is sitting there, sad, and Iron Guy comes in and says, "What is wrong with you? You can't keep doing this to yourself." Deadpool says, "Leave me alone. Why you have brought me here?" The Iron Guy replies, "From now on, you will become one of us, the X-Men." Deadpool says, "I'm not like you, and I'm not going to be one of you." Then two girls come in, and Deadpool greets one of them. Then the Iron Guy started telling him the new rules that he was supposed to follow in order to live with them in the house. And he said, "You can't kill anyone under any circumstances." Deadpool left him and walked away while he was laughing at this weird house. And after that, he said, "Where are the rest of the X-Men? You are a shit production company. The first movie was a hit. In the second part, you're supposed to get us a famous X-Men. Give us the guy with the wings at least." The Iron Guy said, "I know this is not the family you want, but we love you and we want to help you." He said, "There is nothing that will help me here. I want my wife." He said, "One of the people who killed her escaped." The Iron Guy said, "We'll find him and we'll punish him by law." He said, "No, I'm the last one who escaped. She was killed because of me, so I am accomplice." Then a man who is half human and half robot wakes up in a burned house and takes a teddy bear from his side, then goes back in time and finds himself in our present time. He finds two people sitting in a car. He catches them, kills them, and takes their car. However, we move on to Deadpool, who seems that he can't adapt to his new life and still feels the emptiness that his wife left in him. And the X-Men try to help him, but he also does not know how to feel other than what he feels. Then we move to the orphanage and find the little boy is getting tortured by the owner of the place, and he is happy. Then we go back to the Iron Guy telling Deadpool that they have new mission. He says, "No, I'm too tired to go out." He says, "Fine, I want you to come too, and it's not up to you." They take him with them, and then they go to find the boy who is being tortured in the orphanage is burning the place. Then Deadpool approached to the boy and said, "It's not good what you are doing." The boy said, "Don't get closer me or I will burn the Justin Bieber you're bringing with you." Then he said, "I was once in your place. I was born an orphan too." He punched the girl with him. He said, "Listen to me, I'll help you." But he punched the Iron Guy, and Deadpool decided to get serious with the boy and hit him on his head with his sword, knocking him down and rode him with a collar that makes any mutant lose his superpower and cannot use it. X-Men said they would take him home again. The boy said to Deadpool, "Let them send me anywhere else, I don't want to go to this prison." Then Deadpool said in front of the media that the heroes are not heroes to stop the crime only, but they are heroes to stop the crime and punish the criminals. And then he went to kill the nurse and the owner of the house who was torturing the boy. The Iron Guy grabbed him and said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "What do you mean? They have tortured that boy." He said, "You failed me, Deadpool, for the last time. I'll never trust you again." Then he rode another collar around Deadpool's neck and took him and the little boy to prison. If you didn't watch the first movie, before Deadpool became an immortal, he had cancer. So now, after he lost his superpower, the cancer returned, and he is very sick. The next day, Deadpool and the boy woke up, and while they were eating, some prisoners came with bad intentions, and the kid said, "Don't be afraid, I'm going to protect you." He got up and people grabbed him and beat him up and beat Deadpool hard that he was going to die. When they returned to the cell, Deadpool said, "See? You don't look for the biggest guy and beat him. You look for him and be his buddy." And he's still mad that he's going to die of cancer and he gets beaten up every day until he dies, and he's holding his gift from his wife. And then the next day, the guy from the future breaks into the prison, starts looking for the boy, and he finds him with Deadpool. Deadpool thought he came for him, but he finds that he is the coming for the boy and starts protecting him with the rest of his superpowers. And he feels every blow and feels all the pain. With every blow and after a few hard hits between him and the man throws him from above and he falls and gets broken hard. But the collar on his neck comes off and his strength come back, so he gets up again and grabs the man and says to the man, "You can't kill me. I'm trying to kill myself and I can't." They keep hitting each other, and eventually they get out of the station and leave the child. The guards start to hold the child and the prisoners and take them back to their places, and Deadpool flops down and falls into the water, and then goes to the isthmus where he sees his wife again, and they talk and she says, "Don't leave the kid behind. Kids will make us better." So he wakes up and gets out of the water, shivering, and decides that he has to save the kid from the prison because He didn't do anything wrong to get in there in the first place. And then Deadpool goes to the barman and says, I'm not going to let this kid. I have to save him. I have to make a team and go save him. He says, that's fine. I'm with you. The driver says, I'm with you, boss. And Deadpool says, fine. Put ads on TV that we are making up a team to save the kid. During the entrance test, one person comes in with fire coming out of his mouth, and one person is invisible. They don't see him, so they think it could be him, and they don't see him, so they accept him. And one comes in from another planet, but in human form, so they accept him. Then one of them says her superpower is that she is lucky. He says, it's not a superpower. She says, just be patient, you'll see, take me and you won't regret it. He says, okay, you are with us. Then one of them says, I'm a government employee, I have diabetes and a hardworking man. You must need a government employee in your life to take care of your paperwork and your business. So they take him with two. Then the half-robot man comes and kidnaps the barman and tells him, I will torture you and cut you piece by piece. He says, have you ever asked me for something or asked me about something and I didn't answer? He said, honestly, no. He said, well, feel free to ask and I'll answer everything. After that, they decided to go and save the boy while he was going for prison. And then they rented a plane and they all got in it and parachuted out of the plane in a very random way. And every one of them landed dead or died in the air, except the lucky girl. She landed on a car. Then she got in the car, killed the two in it, and started driving. She called Deadpool and told him she was alive. He said, oh my god, you got in and I didn't. And she said, that's just skill and luck. Come on, let's go. The robot guy went in to get the kid and kill him. And in that moment, Deadpool arrived, and the girl left the car by herself and went after the boy. By all this time, the boy heard Deadpool's words, and he became friend with the most dangerous one in the prison. And the boy opened it for him, and as soon as they got free, he hit the car and stopped it. And then one of the most dangerous villains came out. The bad guy said to Deadpool, come on, baby, I'm going to cut you in half. He said, who are you? He said, come on, I'll show you who am I. And he actually cut him in half. And then the boy said, your advice is really useful. Now I'm among the strongest, and I'm going to burn the owner of the orphanage, and then I'm going to burn the whole world. Deadpool said, I won't let you, and you can't even do it. And then Deadpool tell the lucky girl to take his half body to the another half so he can heal. And then he goes to the blind woman with his friend, and his lower half is still growing and looks like what you are seeing now. And his friend says, what are we going to do? He says, I don't know, I have to walk again and then I'll see. And then the lucky girl comes after. She says, what's that? He says, I know, my legs look weird. She says, no, your face is the weirdest thing I have seen. He says, thank you for this beautiful words. Then a man comes, and they raise their weapons at him. He says, calm down, you guys, I'm coming with good intentions. He tells them that he's coming from the future and that the boy will kill the owner of the house, and then he will not stop killing people after that. And one day he will kill people he shouldn't kill, and he tells them that this boy came to his house one day and killed his wife and his daughter. And Deadpool said, I feel you, and he said, I know. If you saw the men who killed your wife again, wouldn't you kill them again? He said, you are completely right. He said, so I'll kill him. He said, give me a chance to save this boy. He said, you have 30 minutes. He said, okay. He said, we'll kill him only after I try to save him. Afterwards, he said, let's go to the X-Men house and tell them that we need their help before a lot of bad things happen. They said, no, honey, we are closed today. We won't help you. You are criminal. He says, fuck you. I'll do it on my own. Then they go to the house, and the boy and the Rockman is there to fulfill his dream to revenge. And the fight starts. And the boy is alone with the owner of the orphanage and tries to grill him like a chicken wings. And then the Rockman is too much for anyone to handle, not even the robot. And Deadpool literally takes an iron stake in his brain. And when he gets out of it, he finds the iron guy helping him. And they all go in to kill the Rock together and actually beat him and immobilize him and electrocute him with a wire and throw him in the pool to die. And then they go after the boy before the owner of the house dies, and it becomes the first murder in his life. But he resists them and beats them. And the robot tells Deadpool that his chance is over, and he must move and try to save the situation. He said, I am trying what? But the boy was determined and will burn the man awake. Deadpool said to him, if you kill someone in the world, it will be me. He put on a prison collar and had no more superpowers, and wanted the boy to kill him, but the boy didn't. The boy didn't change his mind. The robot was ready to kill him, but Deadpool threw himself in front of him and took a bullet instead of the boy, and was dying. When the boy saw that someone had sacrificed his life for him, he got emotional and started crying at him. And Deadpool said, don't kill anyone, I was like you once, but I found a family that loves me. Then Deadpool goes to the isthmus for his wife, and she is satisfied and happy, and he is happy, and he is happy, and returns to his normal look and says to her, this is paradise. She says, yes, I missed me, but your time is not up yet. He says, what does that mean? She says, They need you and you will survive again. And then we find out that the robot man used the time machine and came back and saved him again. And thank God everything turned out well. Deadpool borrowed his time machine and came back and did many things, saved his wife, saved Wolverine, and told him that he would die at the end of his movies, made himself not to accept the Green Lantern script that he lost, and tried to kill Hitler as a child. But we don't know if he succeeded or not.